Hello once again, this is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies course, I've been going through creating a series of video presentations based on the Mozilla Developer Network Learn Web Development series. We've reached the server-side website programming, so as you can see, that pretty much is the last one that we've got other than further resources, and I've actually done a short lecture on that. So we're going to jump into this right away. And let me say that the material that's in this section of articles would more pertain to our AWD 1111 database-driven web development class that students take third semester. So it says this topic is a series of modules that show you how to create dynamic websites. Those that deliver customized information in response to HTTP requests. The modules provide a general introduction to server-side programming, along with specific guides on Django with Python, which I'm not going over this at all, but I am going to go over this extensively. I have no idea how good or bad this is. I also want to mention, and believe me, when I say this isn't an apology in advance, but I have now had one semester where I have taught Node.js, and that was the fall of 2020. I'll give myself a C, and maybe I'm being nice there. I don't know. But I'm sure it's going to come off better this time than it did the first time that I taught it, because I'll know things that I didn't know back then. All right. Most major websites use some kind of server technology. For example, imagine how many products are available on Amazon, how many posts have been read on Facebook, etc. Displaying all these using different static pages would be very inefficient. So instead, such sites display static templates and then dynamically update the data inside those templates when or as needed. In the world of modern web development, learning about these is highly recommended. So, getting started with server-side programming is usually easier than client-side because dynamic websites tend to perform a lot of very similar operations and are constructed using web frameworks that make a lot of these common operations. I'm not going to agree with easy, but let's just say, for lack of better words, intuitive. Basic knowledge of programming concepts is useful but not essential. No, I'd say it is basically essential. Similarly, expertise in client-side coding is not required, but it's helpful. All right, it says you'll need to understand how the web works, and these are articles we went over a long time ago. All right, so these are the modules that are in here. So after I get done with this brief introduction, we'll go into server-side web programming first steps. And as it says, this module provides technology agnostic information about server-side website programming, what it is, how it differs from client-side, why you need it, etc. It also outlines some of the more popular server-side frameworks and gives guidance on how to select the best one for your site. Finally, there's a small introduction to web server security. So that is this. The overview, the introduction to client-side, the client-server overview, the server-side web frameworks, and the website security. So that's what we will cover in there. Again, I'm going to skip this Django. Now, Python is becoming more and more a popular language, so the day may come at Rankin Technical College where we offer a class in Python. All right, what we're doing in Node.js and JavaScript is basically could be duplicated using Django with Python, but we're not doing it, so I'm not going to go over it. All right. We will spend quite a bit of time on Express Web Framework. As it says, Express is a popular web framework written in JavaScript, hosted within the Node.js runtime environment. The module that's here explains the benefits, how to set it up, and how to perform some common tasks. All right. There's, the Node server without framework, as it says. This article provides a simple static file server built with pure Node.js for those not wanting to use a framework. All right. I would say definitely it's worth taking a look at that. And it's the kind of thing that we, again, talk about in the AWD 1111 class. All right. So this first steps overview, that's what we just went through. So we talked about, this is what's going to be in this section. An introduction to server side, we already mentioned that. A client server overview. It says we're going to examine what happens when a server receives a dynamic request from a browser. All right. Everything we've done so far, or let's just, I shouldn't say everything, but the majority of the stuff that we've done so far has been static in nature as opposed to dynamic. All right. Then we'll go into server-side web frameworks. And again, the one we're going to concentrate on is going to be Node.js and Express. And finally, we'll go into website security. All right. So let's just jump right in. I think that we have now done this. Let me double check. This was the first steps overview. Yeah, that's what we just did. All right. So we'll jump into introduction to the client, to the server side, and I'll be back with that shortly.